Okay, so this is a no fluff day and it's going to be hard and some of you are going to hate me for saying it, but if no one's booking your branding photography sessions, it's not the algorithm, it's not the economy, and it's not because people don't get the value of photography. Honey, it is you, or most likely you. I should caveat, most likely you. Yeah, if your own branding is shocking and your work look like it's stuck in Pinterest circa 2012 and you're still flogging the coffee mug poses like the revolutionary, and worst of all, you don't understand how the market is that you're trying to sell into, maybe it's not for you. The branding photography market is booming. Every business needs content. There are photographers out there making serious money in this niche right now. So if your inbox is empty, I'm going to personally guess it's because of you. This is not the happy sunshine podcast. I'm not here to stroke your ego. This is the loud lens, and you're here because you like being told the uncomfortable truth. I don't know if that's true. You like it. This is, and I'm going to tell you why no one's booking your branding photography and what you can do to sort that. I think that's really important because so often these podcasts is just like blah blah blah, you're doing wrong, and then they don't offer. So I'm offering. I'm gonna. It's obviously my opinion, and like most people, we all have an opinion as well as an asshole, but. I'm not talking out of mine today. I'm talking to you into a mic. So let's start with the obvious. Your own branding is a mess. If your website looks like it was slapped together in Canva in a panic, or your Instagram grid is a jumble of random shots with no consistency, and if your headshot itself is a grainy selfie and is older than your favorite pair of jeans, or worse yet, in my opinion, you're holding a bloody camera like men do on Tinder with a fish. It's my personal hate. Why do you need to hold the camera? Or even better, no, even worse, when they hold the camera up to their eye and take the picture like they're taking a picture of the camera, taking a picture of them. The inception. Oh God, I hate it. It so makes me feel like you are dated. I know some people love it. I think it's very dated. Just my opinion. I think it's done. And the fact is that it's done so often makes me realize you don't stand out. You're not unique. So if you're literally trying to sell branding photography without proving you can brand yourself, it's like, I don't know, like imagine you went to a PT guy and selling fitness coaching and he's outside chain smoking outside the gym. You might go, um, I mean, I'm not shame. Yeah, maybe that is a bit shamey. I don't know if that's the best analogy, but it doesn't commute, does it? It doesn't seem to go well together. So here's a fact: according to Forbes, that very swanky product for company, it takes 7 seconds for someone to judge your brand. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you douche. That's less time it takes to microwave a Greg sausage roll. I don't even know why I knew that. If your brand screams amateur and clients have gone before they even looked at your pricing, I would imagine it's something to do with your own branding. So, honey, go book yourself a shoot. Go figure out who your client is and what you want to connect them. Go look at what they're posting, get an idea. Because if you are still holding your camera like as a newborn baby in your profile, I'm gonna hazard a guess. You want something I'm gonna come for branding. Okay. It's done. You can hate me for that. Come at me, tell me if it's done. I personally hate it. So the next one is your work's boring. I know that's really hard to hear, but how many of you are making your clients sit cross-legged on a floor in a random Airbnb or laughing at a laptop that's not even turned on or clutching a coffee mug like it's the Holy Grail or that cheesy folded arm leaning against the wall pose? Now, I'm not saying clients aren't going to ask for this and you have to deliver, but do not put that on your own post. Do not put that in your own thing. Don't. Just stop, okay? Those images do not sell a brand. They don't tell a story. They just scream, I copied this off of Pinterest because everyone else is doing it. And guess what? Clients seeing the same style over and over again. Brand photography starts at like a pointless expense. So Sprout Social recently reported that the top performing brand content right now is authentic, personality led, and contextual, not polished nonsense. People want real stories, real environments, real moments, not a fake smile into a latte. You know that weird one that people do where they're holding a coffee cup and they're just like gazing off into some middle distance? Why are we doing that? Tell me. Are you distracted? Have you been are you dazed? What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you holding a fart? Like I don't, what are you doing? I think I have one of those on my own branding. I haven't used it. I might just do it as a. Do you know? I feel that's a reel. I'm gonna make it a reel. Cliche mark. I feel I'm gonna make it a reel. Anyway, back to this. So here's another spit as well for you to swallow because being told your branding's crap wasn't enough. If you don't understand the market you're selling, that's a problem. Branding photography is not portraits with a fancy name. It's visual marketing. Businesses aren't booking you for pretty pictures. They're booking you for content that works across their websites, socials, email campaigns, newsletters, ads. And if you're still offering that whole get 2 hours and 20 edited images, that's no fault of what those images are going to do or how they fit into the client strategy. Okay. It just makes you look a lack of knowledge. It makes you look uneducated. It makes you look almost irrelevant. The photographers making bank right now, they're the ones who say, who is your audience? Where are these images going? What message do you need to push? They're not just taking pictures. They're creating tools for growth. And that's why they're getting booked and you're not. So for example, I use Studio Ninja. I mean, there's a discount code, but this is not about Studio Ninja. I send out a questionnaire to my clients that they fill in and tell me what it is that they need me to do, what it is their brand is, who their clients are. They tell me things like, hey, I need this doing. This is who we're marketing towards this month. And I get an idea of what they're doing. Okay. So then when I do the images and I create the poses, I'm building something up. Okay. So if you don't understand business, this is why you're falling short. Okay. Honey, you got to understand business. Your clients aren't paying for art, they're paying for assets that bring them visibility, that help them sell and make money. If your mindset is, I just want to make pretty pictures, branding photography is not your niche, okay? Because clients don't give a toss about your artistic vision. What they want to know is, will these images help me attract my dream client, retain my client? Will they give me more credibility? And will they save me time on creating content? If you can't confidently say yes, why would anyone book with you? So I want to touch on something that I do think photographers love to ignore: your words. Now, I have this big thing. I've talked about this a few times on my other podcast. So if you haven't already subscribed or followed this podcast, this is the time to do it, because I leave lots of great advice throughout all of my episodes. Okay. So there's something called client-facing language, using language that your clients use so that they become have an affinity with you. So most of you are selling branding sessions like, get beautiful images for your business. That's crap. That's wallpaper paste in a sentence form. Branding is about messaging. If your own words don't sell, why would anyone trust you? So let's fix this. Speak to the pain points. Don't say you'll get 30 images. Say you'll get 3 months of social media content ready to go. Don't say great headshots. Say photos that help your client trust you before they even meet you. Yeah? Yeah, works. See, you're selling them something because you know they need this. You're showing them what their need is and flipping it on the head. Well, my friend, in fact, no, in fact, I've got a great example. I had a client come to me really recently. She said, I had a branding session done. It was very stiff, very rigid. I did not get what I wanted out of it. So first of all, I said, what was it about them that made you feel uncomfortable? I'm not here to slate that other photographer off, right? That is something I would never do. But what made you feel uncomfortable? She said, I felt very rigid, very stiff. I'm a counselor. It doesn't work. I need something that's a bit more friendly. I didn't want to be sat in my office because I do a lot of holistic approach as well. So sometimes we do walking in the park. I was like, great, let's do that. She said, I still need some in the office, but I don't want them to be like me. And then she had the cliche, well, holding the mug and laughing. I want to feel relaxed. So I was like, okay, let's look at this. And she said, I need them to be for my website. I need them to be on my LinkedIn post. I need them for some of my newsletters. I also need a very serious headshot for when I do seminars. That had to be slightly different because it was a different audience she was attracting. That wasn't attracting clients. That was her peers. So we had to do all this. So we did some in the park. We had some of her laughing in very casual clothing, still smart but casual. Had her laughing, had the wind in her hair, had it look like the POV if I was walking alongside her. And then in the office, rather than having her sitting at her desk, we had her leaning against her desk. We had her watering her plants in her office. We had her writing stuff in her notepad. We had her fluffing the pillows, things that were not just, here I am sat on the sofa looking very serious at you. We had different things because we had to have duality, because she talks about a lot of things. And one of her strategies is doing small tasks. So when she's talking about small tasks, it's nice for her to have a picture of her watering her plants. You see, we had conversations, okay? So when you're doing this, you need to understand what your clients want them for. Okay. So another thing that I find is that people are just copying. You can scroll Instagram and see what another photographer is doing, going, right, that looks cool, I'll do it. You're not looking at what your client needs. You're just copying what everyone else is doing. You can't do cookie cutter with branding. It just can't be done. People want something that reflects them, and originality sells. So copying somebody else's branding is just killing their credibility and yours. Okay. So really think about, like I said, with this counselor, you really have to think about what it is they do. There has been another counselor I did that does, what's it called? Conflict resolution in big companies. Um, He didn't want to be too approachable like that. He needed to be shown that, I deal with very high power people, and I needed to look very professional. So he isn't going to be just watering his plants. We had him in the boardroom. We had him walking into the foyer. It was a little different. Still counselors, but could you imagine they've got two different levels of counseling that they do? We can't do the same. Okay. It's the same with hairdressers. Like, everyone does this shot with a hairdresser, I swear, of the hairdresser holding the scissors open in front of her face. It's done. It's dated. Everyone's done it. Your client can still want it, but just shove it in the back. Don't don't you share it. Show your difference. Talk outwardly a bit more about other stuff. Have them interacting with their client, washing their hair, getting suds all over their hands when they're washing it. Do more that shows the personality of going to a hairdresser than just them sitting there with their scissors open. This doesn't sell to me. This doesn't sell a portrait to me. It doesn't. You might think it looks branding. What does that tell me? And often they're just sat on they're not even in their own building, right? You're a hairdresser. You're asking me to come to your salon and you're not even in your salon having your photo shoot. How does that work? I'm going like, if you were an educator, that would make 100% sense that you were in a different room. But if you are a hairdresser wanting people to come to your hair salon, why are you not showing your hair salon? Why are you not? Like, I don't get it. I genuinely don't get that. Someone, if you have a reason why that happens, just let me know. But hairdressing is so personal. You would want people to know what it's like to come to your salon, surely. Why your branding session not having in your salon? It should be in your salon, or at least most of it. Half of you are not getting booked because you marketed people who would never book you. Okay, so the Etsy candle maker who's making 50 quid a month, she's not investing in £1,000 branding shoot. That's fine. She's not your client. So you need to stop wasting your time to businesses that can't afford you and focus on scaling businesses, consultants, coaches, or creators with budgets. Not everyone is your client. And the quicker you learn that, the quicker your bookings will grow. I don't think there's anything wrong in targeting the Etsy candle maker who may want a headshot session, but they might not want a branding session. Okay. So I run at my studio here in Northampton my small mini, what's it called? We call it mini Sundays, mini business minis. So they come in and they get a headshot, a refresh every quarter. It's cheap, it gets them in. But what happens is people start seeing me doing headshots. They either book me for more headshots or they book me for branding sessions. Okay. We do headshots and they're very popular. That allows me to get a foot in with business that maybe at the start of their career, and because they've already worked with me, they've already got a relationship and I'll get booked again. And other people will see me doing it and book me. But here's one thing that drives me mad. Your photos show nothing about your client's actual work. Clients have this idea, and it's you as a branding photographer that needs to show content, how they work, where they work, and what they do. I mentioned before about the hairdressers on the white background. I can tell you now that I'm just scrolling here on social media. There's a yoga teacher in front of a plain brick wall, which tells me nothing. She should have been in her studio, leading a class, holding a pose outside, showing me what she is. Okay. Your images have to be visual storytellers, not some stock photo knockoff. Tell the story of your client, tell the story of their business. You have to do this because otherwise it's just a pretty portrait session and is not at all a branding session. And that is why people don't join. They get nothing from that. Okay. If you show a yoga teacher in a certain pose, she can talk about that pose, talk about how she runs classes so you can learn that pose, and also say, this is part of my course. You see already 3 ways in which that image can be used. Whereas against the brick wall, I'm a yoga teacher. Are you? I didn't know. Oh, you're in yoga pants. Okay, cool. But loads of people wear them walking around. Tell me what's different. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't sell. And another massive fail is you don't want to educate your clients. Most small businesses think brand photography is just headshots with a trendier name. If you're not showing them the difference, they'll never know why they have to pay your prices. Your job is not just to deliver photos, it's to teach clients how these photos support their sales and marketing. If you're not doing that, you're just handing files they're barely going to use. Okay. And finally, this is the one do I? Yeah. It's not, I don't know if it's finally. Yeah, I think it is. Your photo skills are not enough. You could be technically brilliant, but if you don't understand marketing, psychology, and client experience, you could be losing out to photographers who actually do. Branding photography isn't a competition about who has the sharpest lens or the quickest edit. It's about who delivers the most usable content. And more often than not, it's not the best photographer, it's the one who knows business. So think about that when you're doing a shot. Hey, like, example, did a branding session last week for a solicitor, left some space around their head so they could put some copy above the head on the image, right? Left justified them, right justified them, center justified them, so they could choose which one was best for what they had in mind. The idea is that I give their images longevity, but also multi-use. It also allows them to cut their head out and use it on a thumbnail. It allows them to write on top of it. It allows multi-use. You can crop it landscape, portrait. I understand how it works. Don't get me wrong. There are times when I'm just doing a headshot for them and they're like, I just need this headshot. That's fine. But when I'm doing other images, I might pull back from the scene to get a little bit more room in it, get close ups. I change what I'm doing. I'm just not shooting without a clear thing in mind. And in fact, actually, here's a bonus one. Some of you are just really hard to work with. Slow email replies, messy booking systems, no prep guides, no idea what happens on shoot day. It just screams unprofessional. Owners want ease, they want a smooth process, and if working with you feels chaotic, they're not risking it. Your client experience should feel like you've done this 100 times before, and if it doesn't, you're done. Now, I could go on about how I use Studio Ninja. There are many CRMs out there. I like Studio Ninja because I can send everything off really quickly. Okay, and it's done and I'm happy, and they book in and they have a prep guide and everything's automated and they get a reminder. It's very slick and my clients love it. If you want to get into branding, you need to think about slicking up your booking system at the very least. Okay, there are many out there. There is a discount code for Studio Ninja if you want to hit me up for it. But anyway, look at that. It's one of the biggest investments I did, and I saw that my clients absolutely loved it. The feedback was amazing. And in fact, one final one. Stop blaming the economy. Times are tough. I would be stupid if I said they weren't. But there are branding photographers out there right now who are fully booked. And the difference is they adapt. They offer content days, retainer packages, even video add-ons. They make themselves indispensable. So if you're sat here moaning there's no bookings while refusing to change, the problem is you, not the economy. You need to do some groundwork before you start being a branding photographer, okay? You need to see what images are selling. Look at competitors. Research your client. Look at the highballers. See what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with you being able to try and emulate that. Just don't copy. And also understand who your client is and who they're trying to get to. No one is booking your branding photography because the world is against you. It's not because Instagram doesn't love you. It's not because small businesses are stupid or whatever you want to say. It's probably down to you. Your own brand could be messy. Your work is too cliche. You're marketing to the wrong people, using the wrong language, selling images instead of transformations. But here's the news, honey. You've listened to this podcast episode. You can fix it. You can clean up your own brand. You can ditch the coffee mug poses, learn a bit of marketing, educate your clients, sell results, not deliverables, create context. And for the love of God, stop hiding behind your camera and start acting like a business owner, okay? You have to own this business. You are the knowledgeable one. Brand photography isn't dead. AI has not killed that. There's a massive backlash against AI, as there was with using stock images in any business. It is thriving. But if you're broke, it's probably because you haven't adapted. And that, my friends, is on you. Okay? This has been The Loud Lens. And if this episode has hit a nerve, good, because that means you've got work to do and we like being a busy photographer. Yes? By all means, jump into the Facebook group, The Loud Lens with Khandie, over on Facebook, and we can have a chat. And you can even suggest other episodes you want me to cover. So share this branding episode with the photographer in your circle. He's a kick up the arse. And if you have any thoughts, don't forget to drop me on Instagram or TikTok at Khandie Photo. I'd love to have a chat with you. And until next time, ditch the cliches, fix branding, and sell results, not just pretty pictures. I'm Khandie, and this, act of God there. It's like, you've been mean, Khandie. You need to choke to death on your own podcast. I'm Khandie, and this, finally, has been The Loud Lens.